I'm in the 2025 Camry Hybrid LE. This is the base model coming around $30,000. And even though it's the cheapest Camry in the lineup, it's giving me tons of old school Lexus vibes. Special thanks to Southeast Toyota and my local dealer for hooking us up, Germain Toyota. They've been very helpful in getting me this base model Camry so you guys can get a better idea of just how good this base model Camry is. And should you be spending the extra 10K to get a fully loaded XLE or XSE? In my opinion, it's absolutely not worth it. The guy I rode by when I was doing my Z review, he's always got his tunes playing. A 28.4 before destination to destination is about about 1,100 bucks. I would be skipping the floor mats, the 450 bucks for floor mats with the trunk mat, way too much money. I would be skipping as well the paint protection on the doors, which is like a little film here. Totally unnecessary, and over time that looks kind of nasty too. So I'd be skipping that if you could help it. And then this phone charger cable, like 80 bucks for cables. Go ahead and check out my MagTame cables. I'll show you guys here in a little bit, but there's a link in the description if you guys want to spend a little bit of money on a cable, get the right one. We know that the Camry for 2025 has not changed much on the outside. We have this hammerhead design grille that we first saw maybe implemented on the Prius first, as well as the Crown. I would be buying this over a Crown, by the way. These lights are much more basic compared to the XLE and XSE. So these are the daytime running lights right here. That's it. It's just your night beam that's on, that's been dimmed, and that's the daytime running light here on the base LE model, and that's going to be the same for the SE model as well. But I gotta hurry it up, I might get poured on here in a little bit. Bigger tires mean a cushier ride. The base lights also have an incandescent bulb here on the back, you know, hybrid HEV with the Beyond Zero logo because the new Camry is standard hybrid. Let's go in the back seat. Like I said, my kid's been back here all week going to school. Lots of headroom, tons of legroom. The seat is set up for me at 6'1". Got a little two-tone action. Of course, this back panel's all plastic. Again, we're in the base grade here. At least I have vents in the back, standard, and 2 USB chargers, a USB-A and a USB-C. Very happy with that. A mat pocket. Soft back to the seats. You still have a drivetrain hump here. That might be carried over from the old model, which had a physical drive shaft for all-wheel drive. Now this LE can also have all-wheel drive. I want to say it's about $1,200 to $1,500 price increase, but it is not mechanical. Instead, they put an electric motor in the back, a 40 horsepower electric motor. Gives you 7 horsepower gain over this front-wheel drive model, but front-wheel drive is the way to go. You're going to have better fuel economy and better acceleration, assuming you have decent traction. And here comes the rain. But heck, this base LE has a nice armrest that comes down very soft, and you have cup holders in there. A lot of base model cars don't have a fold down armrest. And check out the detail on these seats. These seats are very, very comfortable, and just a huge step up from the old seats on the outgoing model. And when you shut the door, it sounds pretty darn good. I remember getting to my uncle's, I think he had a 2018, 2019 Camry, and he had a base model as well, and slamming the doors on that and the materials on the inside, it was really cheap feeling. I don't get that same vibe here whatsoever. So let's head outside and get into the front door without getting completely soaked. Shutting that door, that's a nice door slam, very solid. Do I have any water on the lens? Maybe just a little. All right, I think that's a little bit better. Materials here, we have soft touch on the dash all the way across. A lot of people complain about this. Yes, I do think it's ugly, but it hasn't once blinded me, which is impressive. So they engineered this right so that it doesn't distract the driver. At least it doesn't distract me. I can't tell you how many countless times I've been in other cars where they'll just have like a shiny piece going across here, like an aluminum shiny piece that'll just blind me during the day. I don't have that going on here in the Camry. Even though it's piano black and it looks strange, it doesn't distract the driver, at least not for me personally. I've never been blinded once, even with the bright Florida sun. Love how this wraps around. Looks very, very nice with this bolder interior. You can get this in black, but I would never get this in the black material because this looks pretty darn good. And I'll talk more about these cloth seats and our driving here once we get on the road. Manual seats are standard here in the Camry, but with the convenience package, you get a power driver seat. In that convenience package, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror, as well as keyless entry. Now I'll talk more about the keyless entry if it wasn't raining outside, but that's been a big annoyance for me this week with the keyless entry. I guess I'll turn this camera on and talk about that keyless entry. Yes, it's been annoying, but just get the convenience package. It's about $1,000 and it'll give you keyless entry into your Camry. Otherwise, you got to fumble with the key fob, and that might not bother some of you. I just roll around with so many keys and children that I don't want to be bothered with fumbling with my keys when my hands are full to unlock the car. It's a really big inconvenience for me. So that's why it's called the convenience package, so you can get that keyless entry and smart key access for the front doors. It gives you a convenience of having a power front seat as well as an auto dimming rear view mirror. I haven't actually folded these out yet. LED light here. We have LED lights from the map light. Check this out. We also have a sunglasses holder, and notice it's like soft opening, which reminds me a little bit of the LC500 I was in this week, which had a soft opening just about everything. It's very, very well designed there. And so let's go ahead and turn that off and turn that off. And this also folds up and out all the way across there. You do have a little oh crap handle above actually each door. You see a lot of manufacturers get rid of these because well, it costs money to put more things in the cars. So it's good that they have that throughout the vehicle as well. All right, so the vehicle's been on this whole time I've done this review. So far, the engine hasn't fired on once. Unfortunately, I can't get my energy monitor or what your hybrid drive situation going on. Any other Toyota hybrid I've been in, you would just be able to pull it up on your screen. And you can't do that on the new Camry. For whatever reason, under the vehicle settings, you don't have your energy flow or energy monitor. It's just not there. And Toyota could fix that with an over-the-air update, and there's just nothing. It's just not there, which is really unfortunate because I find myself all the time flipping between this screen and going up to my fuel economy. And instead of flipping between them all the time, unfortunately, since I can't have them both up at the same time, actually that's something what the 12-inch screen would rectify, is having my energy monitor here as well as fuel economy up at the same time. I have to kind of just pick which one I prefer. So I actually kind of liked this one better. I like reading how much battery I have on the car, and it's a little bit more geeky for me, but it should be here. And then I could have my fuel economy gauge up here all the time as well. But I do like this 7-inch screen other than that. And the 12-inch screen is on the XLE and the XSE here and here. This 7-inch screen, I actually have no issues with. The smaller screen in some ways is more convenient. You might be saying, Kirk, that doesn't make sense. Well, let me explain. Well, you only have two hands. One is going to be on the wheel, and if you're driving, the other one, if you need to mess with the screen, is over here. This 7-inch screen is easy for me to interact with, and I wouldn't need to be sliding my hand all the way across just to play with a larger screen, which is more spread out. And I can, with my wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto, I can make it bigger, the map bigger. Like, this is a big enough map for me, all right? It's bigger than my phone if my phone was up here, right? So this, I believe this is an 8-inch screen. I'm perfectly happy with it. It doesn't look out of place. I think it's integrated well and brought out enough that I don't have to reach for it or anything. The manual climate control is fantastic. And yes, you can get the heated seats here with that cold weather package is what it is, which you can't get that without the convenience package. I get it. So just get both of them is my recommendation on this base LE. And you can also get an optional sunroof if you prefer. And so the steering wheel is the base steering wheel. And I'm glad I'm testing it. I don't like plastic steering wheels. I want a leather wrapped steering wheel, and you can get it here on the LE once you get the cold weather package, because you get a heated steering wheel and they do that while also giving you a leather wrapped steering wheel. So amazing that you can get that leather wrapped steering wheel here on this base grade, as well as heated seats with this cloth interior. Wireless charger is standard, which is just amazing for a base level car. 3 USBs up front. Here's my MagTame magnetic cable. Use promo code KIRK10 to get 10% off once you click my link down below in the description or in the comments. Again, use promo code KIRK10 so you have the access to these really reliable, fast charging, and tidy MagTame magnetic USB chargers. And it's just really cleaned up the experience for my Android Auto when I'm reviewing cars. Okay, cup holders in a great spot. This has all been reworked to be more convenient. Check out the rear camera here. It's high definition. I was in a $55,000 Nissan Z this week, and that camera was trash. This is a very nice high resolution backup camera, and it is you know, projection. So when you turn the wheel, the lines move, which is nice. And you have a couple different views: extra wide angle, normal view, and then you can take the lines and just do other stuff. So it is customizable, which is pretty cool. I do not have backup sensors here, which you're gonna have to get the XLE or the XSE for that. And I don't have front sensors here either for parking sensors. It's really coming down now. And that's where I say a Lexus is, I would say, quite a bit quieter in the rain, because yeah, I'm hearing a lot of rain coming down, but no car is quiet when you have the rain coming down this hard. Here's what's also pretty fascinating. For a base level car, hardly any of them are going to have a felt lined bottom, and Toyota has given us a felt lined bottom here for the big storage space, as well as a 12 volt for additional accessory power. And I like how this is kind of a matte finish or a semi-gloss. This is a super high gloss, right? The piano black, but I really like how this is just kind of dull, because it's not going to blind you while you're driving on a sunny day. And man, that guy's he's just out in the rain right now. And that's always the risk you take walking around on a cloudy day in Florida. So let's get on the road with the Camry LE and discover just how amazing it is at its price point. All right, putting the new Camry into drive. Let's check out these windshield wipers. They got a little squeak to them at the end. My daughters found that it was quite amusing, and they started making fart noises on the way to school today because it crunches at the top end. But that could be just with the windshield wiper brand or specific model of wiper. That might completely change if you get different wipers, or different blades, I should say. But anyways, it's just a funny remark. All right, let's go and turn on the AC. It's getting a little stuffy in here. AC in here, ice cold. In fact, yesterday, since this has rear vents standard, which a lot of the competition fails to do, anyways, rear vent standard, my daughter sitting in the middle seat in the back seat, she was complaining that her nose was cold, and that was only at 2 fan speed. 2 fan speed, and her nose was cold. It was probably about 85 degrees or hotter picking them up from school. So it's just a lot of the small things in here that just add to such a great experience. The refinement of this powertrain is just astounding. With this new 5th generation, which the Camry's still the only vehicle on this 5th generation 2.5 liter, guys, I just got up to 25 miles an hour, no problem, on electric alone. It seems like this new 5th gen, which is a smaller system, not the engine, but the electric motor in there, it's a little bit more compact, but it's more power dense. It seems like it's a lot easier to get this vehicle up to speed on electric only. And I don't know if that has any drawbacks on the top end, but it's super responsive. If I put the pedal down, it'll go, which I'm not gonna do. I still wanna milk this thing for its fuel economy. And stay tuned, like I said, for my other test on fuel economy, because the XSE got around 50, I'll have to research, I'll put on the screen, and it was rated at like 40 something. All right, so this vehicle, it's gonna smash that. So stay tuned for my fuel economy test on this. All right, so another way that it really surprises me with that old Lexus charm is the smoothness of this vehicle and ride quality. The XSE that I've tested had 19-inch wheels, and even the 18-inch wheels that I've also driven and tested, it was definitely a firm ride experience. Now, the XSE and SSE on top of that have a sport tuned suspension. Here I'm hitting these sewer caps and they just kind of melt away. It's very, very impressive. Very little road noise, even though I'm splashing through puddles here, right? It's just started to rain, and it's been raining off and off all day, right? It's still summertime here in Florida, but road noise is pretty minimal in town. I have taken it on the highway, and on the highway it's a little bit louder, and that's where something like the XSE and the XLE, they have that dual pane glass. It's a little bit louder when cars pass. I'm not going to say it's loud. I would say it's still pretty well sealed in here. It's just that the ambient noise is more noticeable on this LE model. But conversely, I'm not getting all the vibrations and harshness from the road like I am in those models that have larger wheels, more sportier suspension. So honestly, I'm having I'm having a better experience in here than I was in the XSE, which costs a lot more than this. And it comes down to ride quality, it comes down to smoothness, and it comes down to seat comfort. These cloth seats, I feel like, have a lot more give in them. And this is a brand new seat. I'm probably the second or third person to sit in this seat. I got this car from the dealer at like 5 or 6 miles on the odometer. What I remember on those XSE seats, and it might be on the same on the XLE, I haven't driven the XLE in excess of more than a few miles. But on the XSE, those seats were tight, and maybe over time they would break in, but with that synthetic leather on, I think it's called the Softex stuff, it was not very comfortable on my upper back. It felt like it was pushing against me. I was kind of sitting off the seat. These cloth seats are more comfortable. And I was getting some back aches the week I had the XSE. I was driving it a ton, right? I haven't had the same back aches here. It's the same seat, seemingly, but since the exterior material covering, the upholstery is cloth, it gives more. And it is a more comfortable seat here on the LE than even the XLE and the XSE. Now, I'm not going to have the option of ventilated seats here. You're only going to see that on the top grades. And comparing this to the SE seats, which are vinyl or Softex only, and here in South Florida, that's never going to fly. It's just too hot, too sweaty. I need breathability, and these cloth seats check that, and they're comfortable. So well done, Toyota, with these base LE seats. As I came to a stop there, I love the brakes in the new Camry. They do take a tiny bit to get used to. It just depends on what car you've been driving previously to this. It has like a tiny bit of that hybrid sponginess feel, but that goes away after about 5 minutes of driving. Another thing, compared to the XSE with the big 19-inch wheels that I was driving, the powertrain seems to be less bothered here by accelerating. If you watched my nighttime impressions of how this is faster than the XSE, even though it costs 10 grand less, at least on how I have them equipped, but you can get into the XSE for about 5-6 grand more than this, but there's that package that can get it over $40,000. Anyways, the engine here doesn't need to work nearly as hard to accelerate. So one, you're going to get better fuel economy. Two, you'll get better acceleration if and when you need it, just by a hair. It's not, it's not that perceptible, to be honest. But the experience from a luxury standpoint, the powertrain not really having to hustle or work hard, and the electric motors seeming better equipped to accelerate these smaller diameter wheels and compared to the 18 or 19-inch wheels. So overall, this vehicle, very, very luxurious, even though it's the base grade. The interior here compared to the last model that it's replacing, the 24 model, for example, it's just so much better here, especially with this bolder interior that has a lot of contrast. If you just get black, this is just black fabric, black seats, doesn't look good. The door panels are black. It just doesn't look good. It looks cheap. This does not feel cheap. It's very comfortable. It feels cozy in here. I have all the technology I want, even though my screens are small. My backup camera is high resolution. I have all the safety features I could want, like radar cruise control, lane keep assist. And I'm gonna accelerate not as fast as the Mustang there, but yeah, I'm leaving the F-150 in my rearview mirror. So Toyota, amazing work here on the 25 Camry. And yes, the price creep is real over the years. The 25 Camry standard hybrid, it is more expensive than previous base models of the Camry, but I have just about everything I could possibly want in here. And the execution and the refinement, the ride quality, the fuel economy, the technology, the safety, it's all here in the Camry. Even though it's not a full redesign, but they've done enough on the outside, on the inside, and technology-wise, as well as refinement in every aspect of the vehicle, from the brakes to the handling to the ride quality. It's one of the best buys on the market. There's no doubt. Get an LE with the convenience package, so you get the remote entry, or should I say smart key access. You get an auto-dimming rearview mirror with that. And then you also can get the cold weather package, only $500 or $600 more, which is going to give you heated seats and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. This steering wheel, it's something that I wouldn't want if I'm shelling out $30K for a car. It's not a bad steering wheel, but I know the leather-wrapped one is so much nicer, and it comes heated. So I'd be spending extra money for those extra luxury features that you can get here on the base grade. And I don't need a sunroof in here. I have better headroom without it, and sunroofs just make cars hotter here in Florida. Like that poor Tesla over there, I'm sure they get melted when the sun's out here in Florida. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the comments on the new Camry. It's got that old Lexus soul to it, where it just never feels like it's trying too hard. The ride quality is so plush, so pleasant. And it's a smooth experience, something that the old Lexus has really embodied. The new ones kind of feel like how the Camry XSE does, which is, it's good, it's smooth, but it's too sporty. This doesn't pretend to be sporty. It kind of just has that old Lexus soul inserted in here, the old Lexus DNA, and it is just an amazing daily driver. And it's going to be a really good car for a lot of people at an entry-level price point. And I'm excited to see what Toyota can do with the RAV4 with this 5th gen system, as we're behind the RAV4 hybrid with the 4th gen system. I'm excited to see what they're able to do. Hopefully they're able to sprinkle in this magic that's in this LE Camry into, let's say, a base RAV4. But I'm gonna shut it down there. Thank you guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. It says I'm getting 56 on the clock. I'll verify that in a video tomorrow or the next couple days when I test out the fuel economy here, when I fill it up at the gas station. But I put over 200 miles here on this LE. So stay tuned for that video. And if you haven't checked out my acceleration and night testing, go and check out that video on the Camry LE.